Public relations for startups. Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon PR. We're a public relations agency based in the UK, USA, as well as Uganda, and serving clients worldwide. And here today, in day number 11 of 39 days of public relations training, we're here to talk about public relations for startups. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 11 additional strategies that are not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, when it comes to PR for startups, I think that if you're in the startup space, then there's a couple of things that and when we say startups, really, it's about new business. I want to talk to you about some of the things that you should think about as a strategy. So first of all, there's local press, okay? So wherever your business is based, even if you're entirely remote, if you're the founder of the business, then you can talk about, local guy starts new business and look at interesting angles for that, or even just contact the local press. We're a local new business. I don't know if that's something that you talk about, and just explore. So building up your list of local journalists, I think, would make sense. So that's local press. Okay, so that's just like the first consideration. Then there'd be local radio, which is the other one that I don't think people always consider. So getting local press and then local, let's just write R. So you've got local radio and similar principles, okay? Now, if you're a, local insurance company, then you could even talk, you could frame it with the human interest perspective because it's your relationship with the public by, insurance company here to help people get, better rates on their X. Or you could talk about, local man starts new, so you could focus it on yourself as an individual. But looking at the local press from a from a newspaper level, from a radio level, and then there might be local publications that often are local publications. So I'm going to give you an example of this local level. So let's just say that you're a local marketing agency. So a local marketing agency. So now let's take the example of Pearl Lemon. Okay, so Pearl Lemon. So here we go. So we're based in. Give me a second. So this is based near, that's near Liverpool Street, if you have a look at it, I believe. So hospital in London, England. But anyway, let's uh, let's go back to Pearl Lemon. So we're based in London, okay, and 1,300 searches a month, which is quite cool. So we're based in London, and we're specifically based in Liverpool. EC1V, which is where? Greater London. Let's have a look. First of all, identify the postcode and what area that accounts for. Islington. So great. So there we go. We've got the region, local authority being County Greater London, region Islington. Okay, great. So now what we want to do is go to Google, go to google.co.uk. Now we want to search for newspapers, Islington. Islington newspapers covering Islington. Okay, so we do that. We've got the Islington Gazette, we've got the Islington Tribune, we've got Islington Gov, we've got so we've already got a list of publications. Let's just see if we go all the way to page 2 whether we still get. Fine, there's probably 4 or 5 newspapers that are worth looking at. So this one also has newspapers in Islington. Let's take a look. Oh, so they're communications agencies. So now we've got what's happening from a newspaper perspective. Uh, so now we'll go and look at radio stations covering Islington. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. WAG TV, Shooting People, their production studios, their production companies, Capital FM, Soho Radio, The Radio, Cool. So now we're also building a bit of a list of local radio stations. So radio stations covering Islington, magazines covering Islington. So we've got magazines. Let's have a look. Islington Life, online magazine from Islington Council. Mag Culture, they are Islington Tribune. We're back again. But already you can see the route that I'm taking you on. Okay, so when you're thinking about your startup, I want you to consider local press. Okay, now that is the step one. Then based upon that, you then approach national press. Okay, I really can't type. I really can't write. So that's meant to be national. Okay, that's absolutely terrible handwriting. But you use the local press to then approach national. Okay, and then based upon that, you can look at ultimately international. Okay, and international could be just bigger magazines in general. And that would be the route that you want to take for ultimately your startup. Now, the interesting part with this is that this is a reflection of how a startup should start anyway. You go with one niche, and then based upon that, you attack another niche, and then you can go even bigger. So I hope that this makes sense, but this is a pretty much foolproof strategy that you should really look at when you're thinking about how to approach PR for your startup.